Cheeseheads, welcome back. We are in round 7, and that means we are going to be discussing Kylin Hill, running back from Mississippi State. For those of you joining us for the first time, what took you so long? Nah, just kidding.
Welcome to the party.
Head over to my YouTube page. You'll find all of the Green Bay Packers previous draft picks that Brennan and I have discussed. And while you're there, hit subscribe as well. My name's Paul Breddle. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Breddle. Find my work at Dairyland Express and Cheesehead TV. And joining me, my friend, Brennan Roop. Brennan, how are we doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about Kylin Hill, guy who's probably going to be running back 3 from. How are you doing, Paul?
I am doing excellent. Thank you for asking. So, yes, Kylin Hill was the Green Bay Packers' 7th-round pick. And I know it's easy to look at the running back group and say, well, you have A.J. Dillon, you spent a 2nd-round pick on him. You just gave Aaron Jones a big contract. Why are you drafting another running back? Well, the running back position, the running back 3 position on this Green Bay Packers team is absolutely up for grabs this year. And one point that Matt LaFleur made before the 2020 draft, before they drafted A.J. Dillon, was that he really wanted to have a 3rd running back in the mix to provide those two just some, an extra snap off here and there. And we saw that a little bit, especially more towards the end of the season where we saw more of Dillon in action. So this running back 3 position is up for grabs. While obviously Dillon and Jones are going to get a bulk of the snaps, they still want someone there to spell them, save them, a few snaps here and there throughout the season. So let's start with our initial reactions, because when, even in round 6, Kylin Hill's still on the board, you're like, oh, wow, Kylin Hill's still on the board. And now we're in the back end of round 7, Green Bay's on the clock, and they get Kylin Hill. He's someone that I believe it was Bill Huber, Sports Illustrated. He's been interviewing NFL scouts to get their takes on each of the Packers picks. And there was one for sure, possibly 2, who had like a 4th-round grade on him as a player. So to me, it seemed like an absolute steal. Did you have a similar thought when they called his name?
Yeah, the funny thing is after the Van Landen pick, all my buddies and I, we were on Washington watching the draft. We went outside and started playing bags, and I was just following it on Twitter, seeing who they were going to take. And it came across that they selected Kylin Hill. I'm like, Kylin Hill was still on the board in the 7th round when the Packers were on the clock. And it's a steal. He was the guy that I thought was going to go early day 3, maybe 5th round. But getting him in the 7th round, he might be, I don't want to say anything because he hasn't played a snap yet. He might not even be running back 3. Maybe Patrick Taylor is going to be that guy. But he could be maybe one of the better running back 3s in the league for this team.
Absolutely. And the reason why he was graded so highly by so many scouts is because he's incredibly well-rounded. I mean, as a runner, as a pass catcher, his best season came in 2019 where he had over 1,300 rushing yards. He had 40 runs of at least 10 yards. That was the 13th most in college football. 5.5 yards per carry, just an explosive, playmaking back. And then as a pass catcher, 83 targets over his career, caught 81% of them, 9.4 yards per catch, 6 touchdowns. Like I said, just a well-rounded back, and really fits well with what Matt LaFleur wants to do. These are the kind of backs that he looks for, guys who can make an impact on the ground, obviously, make an impact in the passing game, maybe even a little bit in the slot. He has a little bit of experience there. So let's shift to, I went over his numbers and his well-roundedness, but what does Kylin Hill do well, Brennan?
Yeah, just the touch on 2019 season for him too. That was, I think he led the SEC in yards per game. I think he had average 103 yards per game. So doing that in the SEC, that's nothing to squawk at. I think he averaged 5.6 yards per carry. This past season as a pass catcher, he averaged 7. He only played in 3 games, but he averaged 7 catches per game. So that speaks to his volumes as a pass catcher, playing in Mike Leach's air raid offense. He wasn't really used much as a runner this past season, but he was a weapon in the passing game, which maybe that's what the Packers are looking for, is maybe you can split Kylin Hill out in the slot, have A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones in the backfield. There's a lot of things you can do with him with his ability. I think he's very good out in the open field. He's got good lateral agility. He's a tackle breaking machine. I don't remember what the Pro Football Focus stat is, but he forced a lot of missed tackles this past season into 2019. Excellent lateral agility. Good hands as a pass catcher. We kind of talked on that already. But this is a guy that if I know Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are going to do most of the heavy lifting, but if this guy, you can sprinkle him in, maybe get him 5-6 touches a game, he's going to make an impact somehow, some way, just as a pass catcher.
And to touch on his ability to break tackles, for him and his skill set, it's more of a I'm breaking tackles because you're in my way and I'm going to go through you more so than making the defenders miss. Honestly, in that regard, it's almost like a little bit of Jamal Williams. He's not going to fully just run away from you. He's not going to juke around you. But if you're going to arm tackle him, he's going to break it and go right through you. And another important
there's a play, I think it was against LSU this past season, where he catches a pass, does a little shimmy shake on a corner, and absolutely just tears this guy's ankles apart. Like, it was just, holy crap, what did I just watch? Like, it was just one of those moves where it's like, this guy went in the 7th round, how? Like, again, great pick in the 7th round.
And part of the reason, too, you mentioned that his carries were down this year. That's just product of being in Mike Leach's offense. I mean, not a whole lot of running the ball with Mike Leach.
No, not at all.
So let's talk about another part of his game as far as his ability in pass protection. We know that the receivers in the Matt LaFleur offense, they're expected to block. The running backs in this offense as well, Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, doesn't matter who you are, you have to be at least somewhat reliable. You have to be willing in pass protection. From what you've seen, how does Hill fit in that build?
He's willing. He was asked to do it a bunch in the air raid offense. He was asked to step up and take on the linebackers that are blitzing. He is a guy that doesn't always, I don't want to say he doesn't finish the blocks, but he gets in the way. He gets the job done. There was a play, again, I think it was against LSU, where he picked up the blitz. He didn't get the guy in the ground, but he got in their way enough where the quarterback was able to complete the pass. And so now, how is he going to hold up against NFL linebackers, NFL defense linemen picking up blitzes and stuff like that? I can't speak to that. I'm not sure how he's going to hold up, but he showed in college that he's more than capable of handling that responsibility. Now, again, everything's a change when you get to the NFL. How is he going to be able to handle all that? I'm not sure, but I didn't see any red flags watching him in college in that department.
So now that we've gushed over Kylin Hill, is there any area of his game that he needs to improve upon or work on once he gets to the NFL?
I personally, again, this is a 7th round guy, so obviously there's probably something that he needs to work on. I didn't really see a whole lot of red flags in his game. I think part of the reason maybe why he didn't get drafted to the 7th round is I think he's a guy that's never going to be the guy. I think he's always going to be a part of a committee. I think he's always going to be running back 2, running back 3. I don't think he's a guy that can handle 15 to 20 touches per game. But in this committee with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, I think there's definitely value there. I think he's definitely going to provide an impact as a rookie. Even if he only gets a couple of touches per game, I think he's going to be able to make an impact just with his ability to make people miss in the open field, his ability as a pass catcher. And you talked about how he maybe is a well-rounded guy. The scout said that Bill Huber talked to. I think in terms of a 7th round pick, this is a guy that I think is a very clean prospect and a guy that I was shocked that lasted until the 7th round when the Packers were on the clock, just because I didn't see anything as a cause of concern, I guess. I don't know if maybe you saw something different. I'm not sure, but maybe my eyes deceived.
No, I mean, I guess some of the stuff that I've read, and obviously I have no idea about any of this, just what I've read is the off the field, not like getting into trouble, but I guess maybe work ethic along those lines is some of the stuff that I've seen pop up as red flags and could have been a reason why he went round 7 instead of round 4 or 5.
He got suspended a game for getting into a sideline outburst with the coach. So again, that is something that didn't show up on the field, but again, character issues maybe. But to even go further on that, I don't know what the details were, but he did play a role in getting like the Mississippi state flag changed. I don't know all the details about that. I know I read that about Dave Rugler's draft guide. So again, he seems to be an okay guy. Maybe he just needs to mature. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not going to sit here and speculate on that, considering we have absolutely no idea who he is. I'm just going off of what I've read, and it's nothing to be concerned about that he's getting in trouble or anything like that. But I just wanted to note it because I know that the scouts and some of those articles that I've read did as well. Is he someone who's going to make an impact on special teams this year?
I don't think it was something he really did in Mississippi State. Maybe he could be a kick returner. Maybe the Packers will throw him back there. But you got to have Amari Rodgers for that. So I don't think he will. I think his impact is going to be as a guy that gets sprinkled into the offense, maybe 5-6 touches a game, somewhere along those lines. And maybe long term, if Aaron Jones, I don't know if I thought there was a contract out after 2 years or something like that, where maybe they could cut him and save some money. Maybe he's going to be A.J. Dillon's number 2 guy. But I think in terms of 7th round pick, when you get your running back 3 that can provide some touches, some breathing for A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, I think this is a great pick.
So is he your pick for running back 3? So it's going to be Kylin Hill, Patrick Taylor, Mike Weber, from Ohio State. I believe he came out in 2018 or 19, was signed to the practice squad about halfway through last year. And then Dexter Williams, Packers 6th round pick from 2019. So it's going to be those 4 guys battling for that final spot. Is he your pick right now to come out on top?
Yeah, he'd be my pick. I think Patrick Taylor is a guy that wouldn't shock me if he got it. I think if it wasn't for his injury, he probably would have been running back. Well, not running back 3 last year because that was A.J. Dillon.
Right.
But I think he would have been a guy that maybe provided some impact, maybe. But he was a very talented guy at Memphis. I think the running back 3 position is going to be Kylin Hill, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Patrick Taylor either. Maybe they even keep 4 running backs. I don't know.
True. No, I agree. My gut right now says Kylin Hill, but I wrote about Patrick Taylor over at Cheesehead TV. I think I even wrote about him last year as well. He's someone that, even going back before last year's draft, and for those who don't know, Patrick Taylor was signed by the Packers as an undrafted rookie last year out of Memphis. Even before the draft, he's someone who is on my radar because of just his fit with what Matt LaFleur wants to do. We talk about Kylin Hill being well-rounded. Patrick Taylor's absolutely well-rounded. And what I think is a stronger pass blocker as well. Can play in the slot, can play in the backfield, obviously, as a pass catcher. So he has that year of experience in the offense. We didn't really see any of him on the practice field. He had foot surgery last offseason, and that kept him out of practice on IR for much of the season. So last year was basically a redshirt year for him. But still, he's around the team. He's in the meetings, learning the offense. So that is an advantage that he is going to have. And he's coming out of Memphis, where I guess I didn't realize, so I was putting the article together, but Memphis is just producing NFL running backs like it's nothing. Patrick Taylor, Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson, Kenneth Gainwell. I think I'm like missing 2 of them as well over the last 4 years.
The guy from the Rams, I can't remember the name off the top.
Oh, yeah, Darrell Henderson.
But yeah, I was going to touch on Patrick Taylor, how he's basically the same ilk of a Tony Pollard, Kenny Gainwell, Antonio Gibson. He's kind of the same ilk, where he is a dynamic guy. Get him out on the edges, just like Kylin Hill. He's better on the edges than the inside. He's good as a pass catcher. I think that running back 3 competition may not be talked about a lot, but I think that's going to be something that's very exciting to watch unfold in training camp and preseason.
And of all those NFL running backs we just mentioned at Memphis, it was Patrick Taylor who was getting a ton of snaps. It's not like he was, back end running back 3, 4. You saw some little flashes here and there. We'll take a shot on him. No, this is a super, super productive guy with a ton of experience, pass catching, pass blocking, ball carrier. So, like I said, before last year's draft, he was someone that I really, really liked, and I was happy to see that the Packers were able to sign him.
Kenny Gainwell happened because Patrick Taylor got hurt. Like, Kenny Gainwell was supposed to be the slot receiver, and then Patrick Taylor got hurt, and Kenny Gainwell came dominated. So all those numbers Gainwell put up, that would have probably been Patrick Taylor, and I think it was 2019. So again, he's a talented guy. That's someone to watch during training camp.
100%. So there's some added competition to watch. Running back 3, Patrick Taylor versus Kylin Hill. Personally, I don't see Mike Weber or especially Dexter Williams factoring into that competition, practice squad depth options. But that'll be an exciting one to watch between Taylor and Hill. So, folks, there you have it. Brennan and I took you through all 9 draft picks, all 7 rounds of the Green Bay Packers. We appreciate you tuning in. We really, really do hope that you enjoyed it. As I said at the beginning, you can find my work at Dairyland Express and Cheesehead TV. Brennan, where can these fine folks find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Royal_Roop, and you can find my work over at GameOnWisconsin.com.
Again, thank you guys for tuning in. We do greatly appreciate it. Take care, and as always, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.